Once upon a time, pretty much all battles were off the top. These days, all notable battles are written. Why? Believe it or not, I believe the answer resides in only two battles. The first is Jin vs. Serius Jones. Jin's a legendary battler, probably most notable for his dominant streak, maybe the most dominant streak ever seen on 106 & Park's Freestyle Friday, en route to being retired and subsequently signing with DMX Rough Riders, one of the first battlers to actually sign a major record deal. He was truly an all-time great freestyler, especially when it came to battles, insults, and rebuttals. And although most famous for Freestyle Friday, he battled a lot of different places. He's battling clubs all over the world. He battled in Jump Off in England. He battled Bishop Brigante in Sub Club in Canada. He battled Mr. Fab. Battled anyone, anywhere, anytime, basically. It kind of seemed like. One of his most notable battles was one of the OG Smack DVD battles, probably the most freestyle-heavy Smack battle of all time. And it was a good battle, but Jin came up with the dub for sure. Another convincing dub he had was his first Fight Club battle against Shells in Puerto Rico. This was a big stage battle in the early 2000s, which was pretty rare, and it was in front of The Game, who was one of the biggest rappers at the time. And Jin came through, pretty much won the battle with one line. It was one of the biggest room shakers in battle rap history, certainly at the time. I just had to leave that extra reaction in there. It's so rare you see a room shaker actually legitimately shut down a venue, and that's what happened there. So that's an iconic moment. But this video ain't about Shells. This video is about another Fight Club opponent, Serius Jones. If we're going to be completely candid about it, Jin got bodied. For reference, I was a total Jin stan, and this battle probably made me cry. Let's see what Jin had to say about it.
So when I'm getting smashed, and in a manner that's like not even like, yo, Serious kind of edged him, or yo, Solomon kind of edged him, I was getting smashed, and it was like, and if you look at me now and say, what happened there? Why did you? I think it's a combination of things, particularly with those battles, the more high-profile ones that, you know, some people go even as far as saying those battles ended my career, not just my battle career, but my man ended Jin's career with that. I think I would contribute it to, you know, lack of preparation, maybe underestimating these opponents, and then, you know, trying to do what they do and not focusing on what I do.
I think we all know what he meant when he said preparation, because Jones was prepared, man. The angles Jones took were just different. Everyone had Asian jokes against Jin. Jin had heard them all. Everyone had heard them all. And the crazy thing is Serius Jones came with Asian jokes. But it went much deeper than the typical Asian jokes Jin was used to hearing. It was usually just dumb jokes about rice or whatever, like barely offensive if at all. Serius Jones took it to another level. Jones took the concept of angling. I think this is one of the first battles where you can really see angles. And I think this battle really showed a lot of different battle rappers just how you can use angles to attack your opponent. Like, even at that time, the Asian jokes were old, but Jones was original with them, so they got a pass. For reference, this is a time when it was actually kind of frowned upon to spit writtens in certain circles in battles, and simply calling out your opponent for rapping written rhymes was enough to win some battles. But Jones' performance was just so undeniable. I think it really altered the way people saw that. There was definitely written battles happening during this era, and there was also a lot of freestyle battles happening during this era. But this battle brought those two cultures to a head, and to see them face to face, and to see Serius Jones execute the angles so well up against Jin's, albeit good, but just off the top, it's just not going to land like the same way prepared angles and rhymes are going to hit. Jin was one of the most loved battle rappers at this time, so to see him get bodied by someone who came with prepared rhymes was like a real true watershed moment, and I think it really set the culture forward, at least on the trajectory that it ended up at today. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think Serius Jones gets the credit he deserves for that, so shout out to Serius Jones, man. The most notable angle Jones took with this was the population of China, where Jin still to this day is a huge act in China. And in the words of Serius Jones,
I said you broke. That's why you want to come back and battle over here. But you've been whack your whole career. Ain't it 2 billion people in China? You can't even go platinum over there.
so as you can see in that line, he's not even making fun of him for being Asian, but he's incorporating his ethnicity to attack his commercial success or lack thereof. When you prepare bars, you're just able to go like a level deeper, you know? And when an audience hears that, they go, oh man, you know, I like that. That's cool. I want to hear more of that, especially compared to these freestyles I'm hearing. What are these? Another example, although very, very played at this point. 20 years ago, it was a little less played.
Hold on. I said, yo, you ain't a rough rider. You on the back of the bike, hugging on like one of them bros. And DMX tried to kill him. You know why? He caught him trying to cook one of his dogs.
You can see there's just a little bit of extra creativity there to incorporate DMX, Rough Riders, Jin's affiliation with them, and then throw that little Asian dog thing in there too, whatever. Every Asian rapper's probably heard some stupid dog joke in a battle, but Serius actually made it personal, and that took creativity and a bit of originality. And the unfortunate thing is, like Jin himself said, he was unprepared, so all he could do was kind of freestyle. And unless either you're battling someone whack or you really have an incredible moment, you're just not going to be able to win a battle with freestyles over someone who's actually original, actually creative, and actually has angles. And for people to just witness this was like, oh damn. It was just too readily obvious that one of those was clearly obsolete. And on that day, the culture changed, in my opinion. But there was still freestyle battles going on afterwards, and there were still prominent freestyle rappers, 2 of whom were Iron Solomon and Thesaurus, which brings me to chapter 2, the nail in the coffin. Thesaurus versus Iron Solomon is a wild battle to go back and watch. The fact that you had 2 legends in the game that battle in a street in front of nobody for $100. Is that crazy to anyone else too, or is that just me? I remember being a kid and watching that like, damn, they're actually making money. And that just goes to show you how far it's come. But at that time, battling for money was rare, period. So to me, it's notable for that reason, but it's also notable because Thesaurus was freestyling. I don't know if every bar was freestyled, but for the most part it was, and he referenced a lot of things Iron Solomon was saying, but it was pretty evident that Iron Solomon had prepared his bars. And this is still a great battle. Thesaurus did have great bars and great rebuttals too. And Iron Solomon had some freestyles also. It was a very transitionary time, but it was very obvious that Iron Solomon had prepared and Thesaurus hadn't. And that seemed to be the reason why Iron Solomon won the match. There was notable freestyle tournaments after this battle. WRC happened after this battle, and Scribble Jam operated for a few years afterwards, and Iron Solomon participated in that also. Thesaurus won it twice, and Thesaurus also won WRC twice, so he was literally probably the best freestyle battler, at least of that era. And Iron didn't have the accolades Thesaurus had in the freestyle era, but he had a pretty damn good resume, one of the better ones for sure. He was one of the bigger names in the freestyle era, And for him, one of the notable freestylers, to come with prepared material against a freestyler, that was the final nail in the coffin for me. Freestyling will never die. It will live forever. In my opinion, it's an integral part of hip-hop and rapping in general. But in terms of battles, it was Serius Jones and it was Iron Solomon who put that baby to rest. If you're still watching this, shout out to you. If you're here for my last video, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Honestly, didn't think anyone was going to watch any of that, so the fact that people actually watched and some people even enjoyed it is pretty sick to me. But it makes me wish I put a little more effort in, you know? I could really talk about this shit all day, so if y'all want to keep watching, I'll just keep making them shits, alright? Love y'all. Peace.
That shit was whack. You ain't spitting. As a matter of fact, all of that shit was written.